Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you can play a song called Cathy's Clown by the Everly Brothers. And we're going to start off on a G major chord for our intro. The way you play G major, first finger goes to the A on the 2nd fret, the second finger on the low E string on the 3rd fret, and third finger on the high E string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. Now you may also want to think about putting the third finger on the B string 3rd fret, pinky on the high E string 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And then from the G on our intro, we go to a D major chord. We play D major. First finger goes to the G on the 2nd fret, the second finger on the high E 2nd fret, and third finger on the B string 3rd fret. And if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds a D major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And through that intro, we just kind of alternate between that G and D 3 times. And then at the very end, there's kind of this big hit on the G chord where you want to do kind of a big down and kind of kill the strings. Now, a lot of times with a song like this, to kind of fill some time, you could use a strum pattern. Now, you could kind of work kind of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 on those chords and kind of alternate between them, and that can be kind of a cool way to kind of do it too. And a little bit sneaky. But one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So we took the G and tried that a lot. You have down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. So another way to kind of work it is to kind of half that strum pattern. You can do kind of a down, down, up on each chord, or a down, down, up, down, up between, depending on how you're feeling. And a lot of times with a song like this too, I like to add something called bass notes. And a lot of times on that first down of the down, down, up, down, you can throw in a bass for the chord. So on the G, you'd have low E for the bass, down, up, down, up, D. You'd have the D string for your bass. And what it really kind of sounds like in the recording is kind of a bass, down, between those chords, kind of alternating. So you want to kind of find a way that works for you and then kind of run with that. And then from there, then we go into our verse part, and our verse kind of keeps that same idea going. We got kind of that G, D, 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 G, D. And then from there, then we go into our chorus part. In our chorus, there's this cool little lick where you can play open E, second on the D, open G, open B, then open E, and then we play 3rd fret on the A, 2nd fret on the A, open G, open E, and then go to 3rd fret on the B string. So if you're kind of digging on those notes, you can have E, E, G, B, E, and then the C, E, G, E, D through that part. And the chords that would back that up would start on an E minor chord. Play E minor. First finger goes to the A on the 2nd fret, second finger on the D string 2nd fret, and if you strum all those together, that sounds an E minor chord, and it sounds really, really sad. Now on E minors, you may want to think about adding in the 3rd finger on the B string 3rd fret, pinky on the high E string 3rd fret. If you strum all those together, that sounds an E minor 7 chord. And then from the E minor, we go to a C major chord. When we play C major, first finger goes to the B on the 1st fret, second finger on the D string 2nd fret, and third finger on the A string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, that sounds a C major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And then from the C major, then you go back to a D major chord. It's kind of this 2-hit idea where you may want to do kind of a bass down, or you could do just kind of a down, down, kind of on that last D. Now, the bass notes for those chords on the E minor, you'd have low E string for your bass. And then when we get to the C major, you have the A string for the bass. And then we can kind of work that D major hit kind of at the end. And then as a tag to our chorus, we kind of go back to kind of almost like our intro, actually, just kind of a G and D 3 times. And then we kind of hit a big G at the very end. So all the way through that whole chorus, you'd have the E minor, C with an A bass, D with a bass down, and then we're back to G, D, G, D, G, D, kind of big D. And then from there, then we go into our bridge part. And our bridge part it kind of alternates through a couple of the chords. We start off with kind of a G major and a C major. We alternate between those 4 times. And then we do a C to an E minor change, and then a C to a D major change, and then a G to a C, and then we do another big hit on the G chord at the end of the bridge. So we'd have a G, C, G, C, G, C, going back into our verse part. So we're back to our G, D, G, D, G, part. So we're back to our E minor, C, and then kind of our D hit, and then we kind of tag it with the G, D, G, D, G, D, G, and then from there, then we go back into our bridge part. So we're back to our G, C, from there, then we go back into our verse part. So we're back to our G, D, G, D, and then from there, then we go into our outro chorus. So we have our E minor, to our G, and then we just kind of keep that going for our outro chorus. Kind of working a fade at the end. Or I think what I would do is kind of play a big G, kind of make people clap at the very end. But that's the basics of how you can strum through Cathy's Clown by the Everly Brothers. So good luck!